Are we live? Is this it? Are we live? Oh, we're good to go. Absolutely banging. We've got the jazz music in the background. We have the soft jazz music. And that means only one thing. Story time with Benji. Okay, everyone in the chat, just like last week, we're going to do exactly the same thing. I need a few things from you to tell this wee story that we're going to craft. You know, it's not just me, it's you as well. Hopefully we'll get a few of these done like last time, but I need a main character. I need an object. I need a location. And I need a title for our wee story this week. If you have a suggestion, just throw it straight in there. Again, we say this a lot during the games. If you're watching this on YouTube, then your comments will not be seen and you will not be part of this story crafting experience. Instead, you need to hop on over to catalystvineyard.online.church and you will be with us there. Okay, I need a character, I need a location, I need an object and a title. What have we got? Susie the giraffe for the character. Okay, got a little bit of Susie. Susie the giraffe. My pen is dead. Helpful. But you can't forget that. We're going, it's going to be held in Japan. Aaron, hopping in there with the location. I need an object, a random object. I could do this on phone instead of paper. Burritos. And we have burritos. Let me throw those in a note real quick. I can't be forgetting those. Okay, so we have Susie the giraffe. We have Japan as our location. And we have burritos. We've got an interesting clash of cultures here. And finally, I need a title. I need a title for this masterpiece in the making. What have we got? Give me anything. Doesn't. Oh, we've got a title. Sorry. How many dogs live in Japan? How many dogs live in Japan? Okay. Okay, how many dogs live in Japan? Okay, so you got Susie the giraffe. Japan, burritos. How many dogs live in Japan? Okay, let's go. I think, yeah, we have a story to tell here. We have some good stuff. Now, what can I say about Susie? Business entrepreneur, compared to Steve Jobs since the age of 2. You know, she had one of them Instagram accounts where every post is all about the hustle, rise and grind. And she was looking for a next business venture. She'd conquered a lot of different markets, a lot of different world markets, starting off in Scotland, because there are loads of giraffes in Scotland, conquering the US market, champion of Europe, Africa. But there was one place that she had yet to kind of send her business ventures into, one market she was yet to crack, and that was the market of Japan. She tried so many different things. Paper companies. She tried, some pyramid schemes here and there, but she couldn't crack in. She was finding it tough. Until one day she was hit with a brilliant idea, a cultural clash, a cultural coming together, a marriage like none other before. Mexican food needed its voice in Japan. And so, she didn't want to go straight into the big leagues. That would be naive. So she started off in Kyoto, and she decided to launch Susie's Enchilada Den. But despite the fact that it was called Susie's Enchilada Den, quickly it became apparent that her knockout recipe was indeed the burrito. And knockout it was over a period of 6 months to a year. the burrito was just flying off the shelves, off the grill, and into the mouths of the good people of Japan at a rate never seen before by the nation. But many wondered, what makes the burrito so beautiful? But they couldn't get to the bottom of it. They really could not. And as they tried to figure out the secret ingredient, what made the burrito so brilliant, business just kept spreading like wildfire. It didn't just stay in Kyoto. Soon enough, you had 300 stores across the nation. She had taken over, absolutely dominating the newly found burrito market. What a rise to fame this had been. What a rise to fame. When suddenly an investor... Oh, we're going to get some other suggestions in here. Yeah, we've got Winnie the Pooh here. Sledgehammer. When suddenly an investigative journalist that many had given the nickname of the Sledgehammer for the way that he kind of just opened up so many fresh cases, unleashed so many amazing stories, and uncovered so much dirt on so many. Figured there was something fishy about Susie. And it wasn't just that she had a longer neck than everyone else and that she was a giraffe running a burrito business. No, something was deeply and profoundly wrong here. He managed to sneak his way into working at one of these establishments, and figured that they were overly secretive about the ingredients they were putting in their burritos. Things wouldn't just come in on loading day, in clear packages or whatever. It would just be boxed meat, boxed sauces, packages with no labels. It was just use this. All it had was the little sell-by date on it. No other details. Nothing. Nada. This is very fishy. Not normal business practice, he figured. And so again, it just something about this burrito was just off still. The ingredients just draped in mystique. Yeah. What was up here? What was up here? After a while of trialing and tasting, just taking, when you're at a restaurant and you're making food, then you just take a little, you got to make sure it's good. So you have a wee taste. He was starting to take more and more generous tastes just to try and figure out what was going on. He went through all the different parts of the burrito. The problem wasn't the sauce. The problem wasn't the wraps. The problem wasn't the garnish. It was the meat. It was the meat. He invited a bunch of his different animal friends. Susie Giraffe was running the store, but, in this alternative timeline, there's animals speak. It's like a Disney film up in here. He invited an elephant one night to come in and taste the food. Nothing. Just thought it was a delicious burrito. One night, invited a bear. Then a koala. Ran down the animal kingdom until he realized that he hadn't invited the most popular animal in the entirety of Japan. The dog. He got a dog in to taste this burrito to see if there was anything wrong with the meat. And as soon as the meat hit the tongue of the dog, he just had a look of shock and horror in his mouth. Not being able to contain his excitement, the sledgehammer dived over the counter and slid into the same table as him, just across, grabbed him by the neck and screamed, "What's wrong with the burrito? What's wrong with the burrito? What's in this?" And he looked he looked at the sledgehammer, the dog, called Mr. Dog, and he said, "It's me." And he slid open a bandage that he'd been hiding underneath the table. "How many dogs are there in Japan?" He looked at him across the table and said, "How many dogs are there in Japan? There used to be thousands, millions, and now there are just a few." Susie had been smuggling dog into her burritos, and suddenly the puppy police were all over the place. She was shut down. In a desperate attempt to capture the global market, she'd overstepped her boundaries. and the burritos were filled with dog. An animal cruelty, a bit of animal cruelty on a scale that no one had ever seen before. And she was shut down and put in the giraffe pen for life. Wow, that got dark. I didn't really know where I was going, and it got dark, and I apologize. Okay, we have 5 minutes for one more. It's going to be much shorter because that took way too long. Pop some more suggestions in. Again, character, object, location, and title. Lizzie says, what a happy ending. It was great. It was lovely. At least she got, shut down. At least it was all done, Good old Sledgehammer figured out what the deal was. Let's go for a more lighthearted one, though, this time out. Character is... We need, again, character, location, object, and a title. Although we are running out of time. A smoke for the object, mysterious. Joey the Sloth for our character. And it's set in Hawaii, lovely country. Never been, but it's very nice. Meant s'more. We'll do smoke and s'more. We'll get them both in there. And we need a title. This is the deciding factor here, the title. This is going to be like a 30-second story. Oh, Josh says lovely state. I've been absolutely mugged off. Joey learns to camp. Wow, this is going to be tranquil. Okay. We have minimal time left. So let's keep this one brief. Again, a recap for those. We have objects being smoke, s'mores, Joey the Sloth. Hawaii is our location. Joey the Sloth, our character, sorry. And our tale is called Joey Learns to Camp. What's that sound? Joey said, turning to Stevie, also a sloth. Panicked, freaking out. It's 2 a.m. in the dense forest. They have forests on the mountains, right? In the mountains of Hawaii. What was that sound? I swear I could hear something. Stevie, was that? I can't even remember his name. Stevie looks at us. You're imagining things. I know you've never camped before, and I know you've ever been to Hawaii. This is a lovely holiday. You're just getting spooked. No need to bring us down. Come on, just chill out. It's your birthday. It's a time to unwind. Okay, Joey says, I'll try. But suddenly, he heard chatterings all around. Are you sure you can't hear those voices? He asked Stevie. It was as if the whole world around him was just whispering away softly. There was this background bed of noise that rose from a bed into a loud din. Honestly, it's growing. Are you definitely not hearing this, Stevie? I have no idea what you're talking about. You're going completely insane. Come on, just kick it. We need to get a good night's sleep tomorrow to get to the top of this hill, and then we can hit the beach, and we can hit the beach hard. It's going to be a lovely time. Oh, goodness. What's going on with the stream? Oh, goodness. It's rising. The din grows to unparalleled levels. It's unbearable anymore. And then suddenly, from out within the trees, jumps all of the sloth buddies that Joey has. There's Kevin. There's Stuart to go with Steve. There's Philip and Bill. And they're all there. They've lit up a wee bonfire just out through the trees, out of sight. And they decide to kick it back for Joey's big birthday. He'd been getting spooked about nothing at all, and here he was, having a lovely time in Hawaii on his birthday. And you know what? He might not even just like camping. He might love camping. All right, that one was a lot more brief, a lot brighter. I thought I'd cheer it up a little bit. We are going to be starting in 1 minute and 7 seconds. That is all from me. Story time with Benji, signing out.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey! That was really stressful. Oh my word. Guys, how's it going? Welcome to you.
Going very well.
It's going excellently.
I can hear a cheeky bit of echo somewhere. Oh, there we go. Benjamin Clift. He's on it. Don't worry. Oh man, so good to be with you guys. Ben, man, you took us on a whirlwind there.
There was some strange
ups and downs.
Some strange journeys.
There was tears, there was laughter, everything you want in a story time.
Yeah.
Death, scandal.
And a nice camping trip.
And then a nice camping trip to follow it all up. Yeah.
Something for everyone.
I'm very glad we ended on that one. Yeah.
Yeah,
good.
me too.
Oh, ended on a high. I love it. Well, guys, welcome to Youth Online. We are super chuffed if you are watching this right now. If you're not, doesn't matter because you can hire me anyway. But for those who can, we're loving having you here. So this is Youth Online. We're part of Catalyst Vineyard Church. We are Catalyst Youth. Welcome. Good to be here. We kick things off in the traditional way with some larks. And for that, we need to go over to our pal, Benjamin Clift. Ben.
Brilliant.
Lockdown
right
larks.
Here. I've been here all along, but this is the section now.
I just realized we didn't introduce ourselves, but our names are on the bottom, right? So it's fine.
Here they are. They've actually disappeared now that Lockdown Larks has come on, but that's okay.
They have.
Bit of mystery.
That's us.
Hey!
There you go. Memorize them. Cool.
Lockdown Locks. This is the section of our Tuesday evening live stream where we just want to find out what you guys have been up to. Partly because we're nosy, but we always say it's cool to see what other people are up to so that we don't get into a pit of boredom, which is possible to do during lockdown. So we want to find some larks, which basically just means fun stuff to do while we're in lockdown, some larks. So get in the chat. What have you been up to? And while you start typing, we're going to share some larks of our own. Anyone got anything to share?
I had the biggest lark this week, possibly of life. Some of you may know. My dad wasn't very well a few years ago, and so we'd been told you got to stay inside at all costs. And the consultant has said you can go out for some walks. And oh my days, huge news in the elder household.
Come on.
Much rejoicing.
A walk.
The trees seem greener, the air feels fresher. I am enjoying larking outside.
Wow, that is
Take larks to a new location at a socially distanced level, of course.
Yes,
Of course.
It's a strong
Anyone
lark.
else got some larks from our team here?
Yeah, sure. My lark. My lark's really boring, but my little boy who's 2 I can't remember if I said this before, but he started doing this thing in the morning where he calls me Dave instead of Dad. So he'll shout to like get him up. He'll go, Dave.
The level of respect is high.
It's great. Yeah, it's already plummeted.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know if that counts, but that's my lark. That made me laugh every morning.
And a daily lark as well. A repeated lark.
The lark that keeps on giving. It's great.
Oh,
Ben Wardridge, got anything?
been playing lots of Civ 5, Civilization 5, trying to build my society. Just video games.
Do you pick a type of person?
Yeah. I'm playing as Gandhi right now because gotta keep it respectful. Gotta keep it wise.
You're playing as Gandhi?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Well, not sure what to do with that information.
I don't know.
I feel like I'm a pretty good representative for Gandhi, but think whatever you want.
It's not a game where you like build up a thing and then like go and attack people and stuff. So you got Gandhi like attacking folk.
Yeah.
Wow.
Shock.
Well, my only luck was that I turned 26, the ripe old
huge
26 yesterday, which I got. I did lots of larks. I went on a cycle ride, got some gifts. Oh, larks.
The whole day of larks.
Yeah, it was brilliant. So, the chat, you've been telling us your larks. Cool. People have been gardening. People have been doing stuff. Brilliant. Schoolwork. Cycling, yes.
Love that.
6:30 was a bold time to cycle at.
Yeah, that is super bold. I can't remember the last time I got up at 6:30, but well done.
No, me neither.
Incredible. Lots of larks. Any more larks? Well, keep them coming in the chat and people can read them. But I think on that note, we're going to move on.
We have had a great time with Lockdown Larks. We're going to say bye. Our names are going to appear again. All is right with the world.
So known.
In case you forgot who we were, it's all back. Right. Well, it's time to go into a game. And this week we have got a treat for you. Let me first talk about prizes because that's a
big treat.
Oh boy. This week the last couple of weeks we've done Kitchen Time mugs, very limited release, limited edition. This week we're going to go for more of a general thing, but I think you guys will be pleased. We're going to go for a kilo of pick and mix delivered to your door.
A whole kilo.
A kilo. I don't know what those things are. It might be those things. I think it's a mix of all this stuff. They look great.
Love you. Your dentist does not.
Yeah, that's true.
It's all right. You're not going to see your dentist for a while, so
that's sure.
You'll be in pain. He'll be fine. So to do this game, well, I haven't told you what the game is. So that's the prize. The game is, and this is going to come up as well, King Edward.
That graphic, though.
What?
The professional design team here at Catalyst Youth.
Next level.
Guys,
incredible.
Oh, wow. It took me almost a minute to come up with that. So, King Edwards, what is King Edwards, you might ask? Well, King Edwards, what we're going to be doing for the game from now on is we're going to be visiting a different site every week. We're going to be getting different site leaders involved. And this week, we thought, let's go for Stony. Let's go for Stonehaven and bring in Luke and Christine Edwards. And, guys, we're not going to delay anymore. Let's bring them into the stream. 1, 2, 3. Wow.
What an entrance.
Luke in his work clothes there.
Yeah.
Very good. Wow, that's quite something. You weren't wearing that before. I'm quite shocked.
No, surprise.
Oh, love it. Well, guys, we're very excited to have you here playing King Edwards. As you could tell from the picture, it's potato themed. And so you're going to play a game that's kind of to do with potatoes. Is that right? Why don't you tell us about it? What do we have to do?
Go on.
So you're going to have to guess what type of potato we are. is
huge.
So we're going to do an online quiz and we're going to ask each other the questions and then you're going to find out what type of potato we are. So the young folk have to guess, are we mashed potato? Are we chips? Are we baked potato?
Any potato dish you can think of is up for grabs.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very exciting. And it's the same rules as normal. So we're going to have, 3 rounds this week. So round 1 and round 2. If you're the first person to get your answer in and it's correct, you win. You only get one answer, one guess per person. And then we're going to have a final with the last 2. So I don't know who's going first, who's going to be asking who the questions, but boy, I'm excited.
I can't wait.
Share the screen. So
This one,
that one
yeah.
first. Can you see the screen?
We can't at the minute. Oh, hang on. I need to do something. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, there we
Oh
go.
my goodness.
Woo!
Okay, I can see it.
And just to say, guys, there is an instant summer sale at All Saints right now.
Brand-
Jesus.
So, Luke, what is your favourite? I can't see the question.
Okay. Oh,
What is your favourite Netflix original series? Stranger Things, Orange is the New Black, Making a Murderer, or Chilling Adventures of Sabrina?
Chicken Little.
Chicken.
I don't. Orange is the New Black. That's a good show.
Okay.
What is your favourite Friends character? Or who, sorry?
Never seen it.
Never seen.
Oh,
I feel like
Shot.
you.
Chandler, I think.
Well, I'd be Phoebe. Who do you take? How do you take your coffee?
Oh,
Black iced with a bit of flavoured syrup, or with a frothy milk?
with frothy milk.
Brilliant.
Good. Good show.
You like that choice. Where would you like to live? I know this answer. In the city, countryside, by the seaside, or in a forest?
The safest one right now. No, by the, by the seaside. Oh, that's good. We do.
Yeah, we do live by the seaside. Which Lion King animal would you be?
A lion.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Shots fired.
Oh, they don't. Chicken's not on there.
Oh.
Oh, what a sad time.
Dead potato.
What potato do you think you are? Mashed, chips, jacket, sweet, roast, dauphinois?
Dauphinois.
Dauphinois, how do
classic.
you do?
How do
You're
you
awfully
compare
sweet,
to roast potato?
Oh.
I think roast.
Oh.
Which fizzy drink would you pick first? Coke, Sprite, Fanta, or Pepsi?
Oh, that's a hard one. Coke.
First.
What's your favourite music genre? Oh, it doesn't have jazz. Sorry for
No.
that. Rock, pop, classical, or
Gas it.
techno?
No,
All right. I'm removing that so the answer doesn't pop up.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Very good.
Right.
good stuff.
No spoilers.
No spoilers.
Everyone get your
Now
answers
then.
in.
Pop.
Pop.
Someone
All right.
put raw. That's
Shit.
Oh,
So, luckily, someone said that before it came up. So, am I right? I think the correct answer was
chips!
yeah.
Yay!
So, Ariana, I think. Is that right? Was Ariana
yeah,
first?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Ariana, you're in the final. So, someone's just said they don't understand the game.
Let's
Uh,
re-clarify it.
We'll re-clarify. Luke and Christine are asking each other these questions, a personality type quiz that tells them which potato they are. And the answer, of course, was chips.
What
obvious,
else would it be?
Oh, right, it's chips.
Luke is chips, but now we're gonna find out what type of potato Christine is.
Whoa.
This is the second round.
Reverse.
So study the questions. What potato is it pointing towards?
Listen to those insights.
You need to click on that one.
This one.
You are
You're
a solid all-rounder.
Oh, yes.
Everybody wants you around.
Oh,
You get
And you
advice.
also know exactly when to win the party.
So affirming.
That's lovely. If it just says like your chips and then at the bottom it just says you're greasy, like that's not a compliment at all, is it? But that was lovely. It's not what you want to hear. Lovely
so
encouragements.
Giving away the answer. Sorry for that.
You were just too excited.
Yeah, I was. Yeah. Here we go.
We shared the screen for this one again.
Okay, sorry.
Should be up. This is a different one. Okay, Christine. Here's your quiz. How do you choose which clothes to buy? I love brand names. Honestly, whatever fits my budget. Something comfortable. It has to be trendy, but at a good price.
I think while I'm wearing a onesie, I'm going to go for something comfortable.
Oh.
Strong.
Okay. You and your friends are meeting to eat. Where are you going? Something quick and easy so we can do other things. We will probably cook something at home. Somewhere fancy because we deserve to treat ourselves, or somewhere new and hip.
Somewhere new and hip, just because I like change and new things.
Not
You're
just
always,
at home.
yeah. You're always using the word hip as well, Christine.
Yeah, I'm so hip. That is what people say about me.
What is the nicest? What is the nicest word someone could use to describe you? Interesting, sweet, put together, down to earth.
Put together.
Arguably, they're the best words.
You're very put together.
And guys, just be thinking about how a potato would answer these questions. That will really help you as
Get
well.
into that starchy
Yeah.
mindset.
I think people would say that I'm sweet.
Sweet potato.
Oh.
Yeah, you do that.
Oh, is that a big clue?
Keep scrolling down the other way.
I don't know. Sweet potato. Okay, you see someone cute at the club. How do you approach them?
Maybe.
She's doing this all the time now.
Don't say this word.
Oh, be bold as
No,
what's
That's possible.
no,
Be
no,
bold.
no, leave it.
Yeah, be bold. And go up to them with confidence. I'll just act like myself. Hopefully they'll approach me first. I'm probably drunk, so I don't know what I would do.
I would just act like myself.
Brilliant.
I would
Good
Solid
answer.
life advice, Christine.
We love to
love
see
me
it. We love to
for
see it.
me.
That's
Carry
good
on.
advice.
That question was interesting.
What do you want in a partner? Excitement, true friendship, someone who looks good next to me, someone who can spoil you, or a chicken.
I don't know, what do you want me to answer? I feel excitement. I need change and excitement in my life.
Woo! Okay. What's your favorite holiday? Christmas, Thanksgiving. That's a holiday in America. We don't have it here. Do you know that? Okay. Halloween, Valentine's Day.
I think this is the last one. I'm going to take
It
it
is
off.
last-
Oh,
Okay.
I absolutely love Christmas. I love everything about Christmas.
Oh!
Okay. Hold on to that.
what do we think it is, people? Get in the chat.
They're coming in.
Get in the
They're coming
chat.
in. We've got sweet potato dauphinoise,
Oh,
mashed
fancy.
jacket potato, chips,
Chips again, fries. Very good.
mashed roast potato. I don't know if it's been said.
Jacket.
It has been said.
It has been said.
Ooh,
It has been said.
Oh,
Oh.
Come on, who's in the final? What is it?
I am mashed.
Potato.
oh.
Well done.
Who was in there first? Who was in there first?
Well, I think the first person is already in the final.
Oh my
Ariana's
goodness!
just showing up. She knows
Wow.
Conquered.
Well,
Conquered this.
next was Alex J. So should we put Alex in?
Let's do it.
Let's. I mean, Alex, good luck. You're clearly against the potato queen.
Yes.
Fantastic. So this is the final round between. Oh, here we go. So Alex and Ariana, no one else answer. Guys, what do they have to do?
You've got to get the closest in number for this answer. So the question is, how many varieties of potatoes are there in the world?
Wow.
Whoa.
I think I know 2.
Yeah.
How many varieties of potatoes are there in the world?
Maybe your lockdown lark could be trying them all.
Okay, Alex 23. Ariana, what do you think?
She just boasted.
She's
that they
just
were her specialty.
boasting. She's just trash talking.
Taking a suspicious amount of time
I
to
know.
answer this. I don't know. I don't like it.
I'll give you a clue. It's more than you think.
Oh, we have a guess.
Oh, 150.
Huge.
That's a big old difference between the two.
So 23 and 150.
Oh,
What's
So
the
the
answer?
closest to the number wins.
Hang on, more coming.
No, there's just a 2. It's a
this
final.
suspense is killing me.
Is over 4,000.
What?
5,000!
Are you mad?
If
That's
someone tries all of them, huge lark.
Over 4,000. Oh my
Nah.
word.
That is crazy.
What?
Wow.
No, I don't
feel-
think any of us believe it.
How much to do with that information?
Nah.
That's just changed the way I think
That
about
is
potatoes.
absurd. I'll never see a
Wow.
potato the same again.
Wow.
Man. Well, hey,
4,000.
it looks like we have a winner. Ariana, congratulations. A
She
kilo
really is the
of
potato
pick and
queen.
mix.
Yeah.
Wow, you've earned it. And yeah, if you want some potatoes as well, I think Luke and Christine were saying they bought 2 extra bags worth or something. So if you want to send that, feel free.
Little bonus prize.
Insane. Thank you so much, Luke and Christine. Let's say bye-bye.
Hey.
Reppin'
Bye-bye.
Stoney. Love you guys. Whoa. Fantastic. Well done, Ariana. Beautiful, beautiful job. What we can do now is we're going to go into a time of worship with our very own Ben Clift. And so, Bex, we'll hand over to you. You can pray for us and chat a little bit about worship. And then we'll worship. Okay.
Sweet. So we are about to go into a time of worship, and what we mean by that in this setting is that we're going to sing some songs to Jesus if you haven't been around before. And basically in this time, we would just encourage you not to get distracted, not to double screen. It's so easy to flip between a million things. I'm really bad for that. But just in this time to be still, to be quiet, to think about the words as we sing them. We know it's weird when we're not physically together, but the good news is that God is the same God wherever we are. So I'm just going to pray for us as we go into this time. God, we thank you that we can trust in you. God, we thank you for all you've done for us and for the way you care for us and the way we love you. You love us. And just in this time, God, we want to acknowledge that and to sing these songs to you. So, God, would you help us focus on you in this time? Amen.
Your blood is healing everyone. Your blood is making all things new. Your blood speaks a better word. Your blood, the measure of my worth. Your blood, more than I deserve. Your blood speaks a better word, speaks a better word. And it's singing out with light, and it's shouting down the lines. It echoes through the night. The precious blood of Christ speaks a better word. It speaks a better word. your blood. A robe of righteousness, your blood. My hope and my defense, your blood. Forever covers me, forever covers me. And it's singing out with life, and it's shouting down the line. It echoes through the night. The precious blood of Christ speaks a better word, speaks a better word. It's calling out my name, and it's breaking every chain. You are God, and it's making all things right. The precious blood of Christ speaks a better word. You speak a better word over my life, God. You speak a better word, better than the world offers me. You speak life, you speak truth to me, God. And it's rewriting my history. It covers me with destiny. You made a way, and it's making all things right. The precious blood of Christ, it's rewriting my history. It covers me with destiny. It's making all things right. The precious blood of Christ, it's rewriting my history, making all things new. It covers me with destiny. Jesus, it's making all things right. The precious blood of Christ speaks a better word. You speak a better word. And it's singing out with life. It's shouting down the lies. You are God. It echoes through the night. The precious blood of Christ speaks a better word. Speaks a better word. It's calling out my name. It's breaking every chain. It's making all things right. The precious blood of Christ speaks a better word. Speaks a better word. The chains have no hold on me, 'cause you have won. Yes, you have won. The chains have no hold on me, 'cause you have won. You're making all things new. I call, you answered, and you came to my rescue, and I wanna be where you are. It's where I wanna be, God. And falling on my knees in worship, giving all I am to seek your face. Lord, all I am is yours. We give it to you, God. And my whole life I place in your hands. God of mercy, humbled I bow down in your presence at your throne. You deserve it, oh God, 'cause I call my rescue, and I wanna be where you are. In my life, be lifted high in our world, be lifted high in our love, be lifted high, Jesus. In my life, be lifted high in our world, be lifted high in our love, Jesus, be lifted high. 'Cause I call, you answered, and you came to my rescue, and I wanna be where you are. And I call, you answered, and you came to my rescue, and I wanna be where you are.
So yeah, God, we desperately want to be where you are. We desperately want to meet you tonight. And I just thank you that you are here with us wherever here is for each one of us individually. We love you, God. And I just pray that for the rest of this evening, we'll know you closely and we'll just have an amazing encounter with you, God. We just pray for that. More of your spirit throughout what we do tonight. Amen. Thanks, Ben. Good job on the worship front.
Great job, Ben.
Lovely.
Absolutely love it. That sounded really sarcastic and it wasn't meant to be. That was genuinely good.
Yeah, love it.
Great job.
Yeah. Wow.
That was awesome. What we're going to do now is we are going to hear a little bit from Ben, who's down there. Benji, that one down there. Ben has got a talk prep for us on worship, which we're going to watch.
Yeah.
It's going to be amazing. It's about 10 minutes long. I'll tell you what, Ben, why don't you hang on. I've got four screens in front of me here and I'm freaking out.
Surrounded.
Great. Bex. I can't remember if I told you to pray or not. I can't find the notes.
I will pray.
Thanks, just do it.
Yeah. Great.
God, we thank you for tonight. We thank you for what Ben's prepared for us. And God, we just pray that you give us ears to hear it and that you would soften our hearts and that we would just experience you really powerfully through this moment. Amen. Hopefully the video is going to appear any second. Hey
guys, how's it going? Unlike the past few weeks, we've had some killer talks from Bex, Dave. We've had some outside videos, which have all been beautiful. This time, you're stuck with me, good old Benji, here in my room, in my pajamas. And you know what, guys? Before we go any further, I've been living to say these words, so I don't think I can wait any longer. Maybe it's too soon. Maybe I need to do more of the talk first, but I just can't wait any longer, guys. It's kitchen time.
Kitchen time, kitchen time, get ready everybody, it's kitchen time. Kitchen time, kitchen time, get ready everybody, it's kitchen time. Kitchen time.
Now, kitchen time has studied and involved some incredible kitchen utensils, but this week, we're dealing with the pot. Now, I picked the trusty pot here because this week, we're going to be talking about worship. back to normal. What a thrill that was. It might seem like a really weird time to talk about worship. There's a lot going on. We don't have any Tuesday night meetings where we can come together and worship in one building. We don't have any Sunday morning church services, at least all of that. We don't have those things in a physical form with like a live band that we can see, feel, and touch. Although maybe going up and touching the band is a bad call. So anyway, it might feel like a weird time to kind of touch on this and talk about this, but that's almost why it's really important. I've been personally kind of thinking about the question of like, how do I worship? What does worship mean to me? How can I do worship during this time of isolation, of kind of quarantine and lockdown? What does worship mean in this moment right now here in my context? And so firstly, this is something that we've spoken about quite a bit, both in church and at youth if you've been around for a while, but it's super important. It's a huge part of us kind of grappling and understanding worship. So I thought it'd be important to go back over again. So sometimes we can put worship in a box. Sometimes it's easy for us to limit worship, limit what it can be, limit what it is to just a few things. That could be praying. It could be the quiet moment that we have at the end of all of our services to kind of reflect on what God's doing and wait on Him. It could be the big songs where we all stand up and sing together. But actually, God intended worship to be so much more, and worship is so much more than just singing a few songs once or twice a week. Rather than worship just being a few songs or some quiet time, it says in the Bible that worship is our entire lives. It says in Romans 12, "Therefore I urge you, brothers and sisters, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is your true and proper worship." So rather than just being a few songs here and there or a few moments of silence, worship is so much more. It's our entire lives, everything and anything that we do, and our lives themselves when we live with God and for God. That's worship. And so I should probably take this box off, right? Oh, it was so hot in there. Anyway, all that has got me thinking about the question: if our lives are an act of worship, if our actions and our entire lives are our worship to God, then how do we worship when our lives are put on pause? Right now, with everything that's going on, maybe the main primary things you're getting up to every day are some light video games, some Netflix binges. Maybe you've caught up on the last 4 years of sleep in the last 6 weeks. I feel like I certainly have. And so if our whole lives are this kind of like honoring sacrifice, this worship to God, how do we do that when all we can do is kind of sit inside and it feels like all we can do is mope about? How can worship work within this new and strange context? Luckily for us, there are a ton of scriptures in the Bible that speak about worship, and today we're going to have a quick look at some of those. So we are going to have a look at Hebrews 13 verses 15 to 16, and I'm just going to read this out now. It says, "Through Jesus, therefore, let us continually offer to God a sacrifice of praise, the fruit of lips that openly profess His name. And do not forget to do good and to share with others, for with such sacrifices God is pleased." Now, there are two main two kind of practical ways that we can worship that pop out of this bit of scripture, and they're still super relevant for us now, and we can still do both. So the first thing is using our words. It says in the first verse 15, "Offer to God a sacrifice of praise, the fruit of lips that openly profess His name." Even though it might seem harder or weirder because we're not meeting in a physical space to kind of sing or pray, God still puts an immense amount of value on using our mouths as a form of worship, using them to pray, to speak kind of praise out loud, to sing together. And that can be hard right now, I get that. And so what can we do with that now? First off, we can engage with the live streams or stuff from church or on Tuesday nights super actively. I don't know about you guys, but I can remember the first Sunday morning live stream. Me and my flatmates were all downstairs in the lounge watching it, and then the worship came on. There's only 3 people in the room. There's this awkward moment of, it's easy to sing when you have like a room full of 50 to 100 people who are all gonna strike up in unison together. But all of us, when it was just the few of us in our room, there was just this uncomfortable, awkward air of like, is anyone gonna sing? And then eventually we all just kind of looked around at each other and didn't say anything, and maybe just quietly murmured or like assumed the praying position. But then after a few weeks, we got better and we've started just like openly singing, and those times have become really just way better, way more fruitful times when we can sing together and pray out loud together. And so even though that might seem awkward and difficult and uncomfortable, and I understand because I went through that, those moments are still really good. On top of that, using our words can be like having our own personal private time with that stuff, having moments with God where it's just the 2 of us, moments of prayer, moments of kind of alone time where we just kind of thank God for everything that's going on, praise him for our lives, for our circumstances. This might not be something that you've done alone in a private setting, but I would encourage you to give it a go, because this scripture really highlights the importance of our words as kind of our form of worship. And the second way we can worship is through our actions. It says later on in verse 16, and do not forget to do good and share with others, for with such sacrifices God is pleased. And so we can not only just speak our worship or pray our worship, but we can do worship physically with our hands by doing good, living for God and living for other people. I mean, this might seem like the most basic advice, but even just in a relationship with God, your outpouring of good things to the world around you, to both God and to people, is an act of worship that can take the form of so many different ways or means that you can accomplish that. Maybe that means helping around the house a little bit more. Maybe it means being the friend in the Zoom call or FaceTime who's way more chill about what's going on, not stressing out about life, but being an encouraging voice to those around us. This isn't always the easiest thing to do. Sometimes, all I want to do is just kind of laze around and lie around and watch Netflix and eat cheese toasties endlessly. God fully knows how difficult it is sometimes for us to sacrifice our time or our priorities or what we'd rather do just for fun. The phrase sacrifice, that word, comes up twice in this passage. We all the time just want to do our own thing, we want to chill out, but giving up some of that, giving up some of our time doing the many things that we might want to do, is just an amazing way of showing God our love. So by sacrificing a bit of ourselves and a bit of what we want and our priorities and the things that we want to do, that's an amazing form of worship. It's not easy, but by giving up something, we're just showing God how much we love him. So by just thinking about how we use those 2 things, our mouths and our actions in every day, those can be worship to God. Some of those might be limited by our circumstances. You might not be able to do as much. You might not be able to do things in certain ways or sing out in a way that you used to. Things might be more limited, but things certainly have not kind of been cancelled. These activities of using our mouths and using our hands, our bodies to worship, those things haven't gone away. They've not been eliminated by what's going on, even if they've become a little bit less direct in how we do those things. So worship, by any means, whilst all this is going on, is not done. It's not over. And ultimately, these 2 ways of us practicing worship are just an overflow of what is inside. Our worship to God is ultimately just a kind of exterior manifestation of an interior love for God. They're us kind of externalizing and doing things or speaking things but that comes from just an outpouring of the love that we have for God inside. And if we cultivate and capture and grow that love, then those outpourings will be easier and easier. And if we live in a place where we are just constantly in love with God and we're putting Him first in all that we do, then anything that we do can be an act of worship. Going back to that first verse, our whole lives are a living sacrifice to God. Again, that word sacrifice, this isn't going to be easy, but anything that we do in cooperation with God, anything that we do with God, anything that we do as we love God becomes an act of worship. Even insignificant and meaningless things, if we do them with a gratefulness and a thanks and a love for God because He saved us, that becomes an act of worship. Even if that's just, you making a cheese toasty. If we do that with love and admiration for the Lord, then even making that cheese toasty for lunch can be an act of worship. So ultimately, even though it feels like our lives have kind of been put on pause, left just in complete standstill for a moment, there's still so many ways that we can worship God, that we can still engage in just loving God, because that's all that worship is. It's just us showing our love for God. And so that might take different forms for you. That might change how you do worship or think about worship a little bit. But ultimately, worship does not stop just because life looks different right now. And as we worship more, we'll draw closer to God and share an even deeper love with Him. Okay, peace out, guys.
Beautiful. Oh, got a bit of echo. Oh well, we'll deal with it. It's really annoying. Amazing job, Ben. Man, there was so much good stuff in that. We were just praying there while we were watching it, asking God just to kind of give us some words about what He might be wanting to say to us, to everyone watching this right now. And just before we launch into that, I just want to say to you guys, I totally recommend, we're going to put all of this live stream up on YouTube after, and then Ben's talk on its own will be up as well. I totally recommend going back and having a second listen, because there was loads of gold in there for you guys to take on and for us to take on as well. So definitely do that. But I'd love, just in the few minutes we've got, let's just throw it open and to us here, did anyone feel God saying something in particular, an encouragement or a challenge or something to share with everyone watching this? Someone jump in.
So I was just reminded of that story of Acts of Paul and Silas in prison. And there's just this little line that says that they decided to worship God. And then after that, it kind of all kicks off, and the prison doors fling open, and the jailer and his whole family come to Jesus. But it all started with that tiny little decision, and they weren't super thrilled to be in prison, I'm sure. I'm sure Paul wasn't like, yes, it's a chance to try out my new set list, super excited. But actually, it would have been really hard, and they would have been really fed up, but they made that decision, and they had no idea what was going to happen when they made it. But when they did, God came powerfully. And just that sense that we might find it really hard right now to worship. I know, Ben, sometimes I find it really hard, but that God can really use that, and that He can work powerfully through that.
It's amazing. Anything from you guys?
Since just the start of the evening, I've had that really similar to Bex, just that sense that there might be loads of people here tonight in the stream that you're finding the idea or the practice of worship really difficult right now. Life feels weird and off kilter and strange and not right, and the idea of being praiseful and worshipful and thankful feels really difficult and hard. And so we'd love to pray with you about that.
It's amazing.
And I think just to add as well, when we're talking about worship, we're not talking about this, we're just going to deny that we're feeling a bit down or a bit bored. Worship can totally be what is going on? This is weird, but God, I know that you're good. Or even God, I think you're good. Like, and I'm choosing to believe that you're good, and I'm choosing to believe that you've got a plan for all of this stuff. Yeah. So we're not saying, just don't worry about what you're feeling. Just sing happy songs and it'll be fine. Like, God wants to hear those songs as well. Those, if you're frustrated or however you're feeling, like, take that to him.
So good.
Yeah.
Love it. Yeah, I think there's just a bunch of stuff in there. I don't want to add a ton more other than I just felt there was a sense of like freedom for people, like God wanting to take us to a place of new freedom and depth in our worship. And actually, it might feel like you might feel a million miles away from that right now, but like the amazing thing is God can break in and bring us to a place where like we feel totally free, where maybe we don't currently. And so if any of that stuff applies to you and you're like, yeah, that's me, we want to make space for you guys to respond to that. We're kind of short on time at the minute. So what we're going to do is I'm going to talk really, really quickly just about what's going to happen for the rest of the night and a couple of other things. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put on some calming visuals and some music. And then we would just encourage you guys just to hang out just for the next 5 minutes and just grab prayer with a leader if you want to do that. Or even, if you want to just sit and wait on God, that would be cool. So holding all those words in one hand and the other hand, just to let you know what's happening tonight, we're going to be doing our Zoom pods again, which we're super pumped for. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into a big group all together like we did last week and then split into smaller groups. Some people last week, what happened was your connection got lost and then you disappeared and tried to go back into your group. And then you ended up in a group that was just Hazel and me, and people came in and went, and then ran away. Basically,
that's what I would do.
Yeah. People got freaked out. Thought it was like a private chat. It's not a private chat. That's like the waiting room to then put you in your group. So if you get kicked, if you lose connection and you need to get back in, don't freak out when you see Hazel and I will help you. Don't have to freak out about that. And then the other thing is, if you could make your Zoom name like your actual name, that would help us out massively. If you're called Mouse Friend 27, that's a terrible name. Don't call yourself Mouse Friend 27. We won't know who you are. So pick your actual name. You can change that in the settings on Zoom. And then the very last thing I have to say is next week, what we're going to be doing is taking a little bit of a break. We're going to have a week where we're not going to have youth online, just to kind of give everyone a bit of chill and like mix things up a little bit. But what we're going to be doing instead is we're going to be having a Netflix watch party, 6:45 Tuesday night. It's going to be ace. So we'd love to see you there for that. You're totally welcome to come along. The link's going to be in the Discord app along with how you sign up for that and how that all works. But get thinking for what film you'd want to watch. All right. I think I've done all the news. We've done that in a weird order, I know. But what we're going to do now is we're going to disappear from the chat. And really, we would encourage you guys, if something in that talk or from what we've shared, or you just feel God's like on your case about something, get some prayer, get chatting with a leader. And at 8:00, we'll go into our Zoom groups. So feel free just to use the next 6-7 minutes just to spend that time with Jesus, and get some prayer if you want to do that. We're going to say bye now. Thank you guys. Peace out. Bye. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.